shall we cut them and light them?
I guess so.
I got a foot band on mine.
Me too.
Look at us. We're so highfalutin, man. Dang, we're like rich people. We got foot bands, we got regular bands. That's awesome. See, I want to save these.
Got all kinds of bands.
I'm doing something, Wesley, I don't normally ever do.
Yeah?
That's right. I'm doing a review on a cigar I've never smoked before. And it's a special edition. So, a limited edition. So, therefore, it doesn't matter how really good it is. Because even if it's fantastic, you can't buy any more of these anyway. So, yeah. I like it.
A lot.
I like you, Mary.
Mine I've had in my humidor for, I believe, probably a year.
Is that right?
When it's a real cigar, I like to let them age. And apparently a little too long, but the longer you let them age, the better they generally get. So
smoother. I definitely say they get smoother for sure. I have found some that I have aged a little too far, and it was kind of cool because I just finished watching a guy on one of the cigar podcasts that I watch, you know, and he was talking about that you can age them past their prime.
Oh, okay.
So the way he was describing it, he said, you got to keep in mind, he said, a lot of your real good wines, they're made to sit.
Right.
When they make it, it's with the intent that you're going to put it in your wine cellar, and it's going to sit there for 5 years before you ever even think about touching it. When these guys make these cigars, they're making them to where you can smoke them right now.
True.
So they're made to light up immediately. He said, can you let them sit and age them a little longer to make it? He said, yes, you most certainly can. But if you're not careful, you'll age them past the point, and then it's more like a sweet wine, where the older it gets more bitter, and it gets, the sweet wine you want to drink right away. And he said that's kind of how cigars are. He said you can relax them for a year, 2, 3 years, but there's cigars you're going to sit in your humidor, and next thing you know, you're finally like, I'm going to smoke this. It's been sitting there for 10 years, and it's going to taste like crap.
Be horrible.
Yeah.
It's going to taste like lighting paper on fire.
And that's what he was saying. He said, so, be careful with your aging process, because you can overage a cigar and it won't be it.
It's one of those things, because I don't know, you gave me this cigar, and I don't know if it was last year for Father's Day or for Christmas.
It seems
because
like
it's a My Father's
cigar. You would think it would be a Father's Day gift.
Right.
I can't believe I'd give you that, because that literally is probably my favorite.
I know, that's why I was like, when I saw it on my humidor, I'm like, did he really give me one of My Father's cigars? And I cut My Father's cigar with the My Father's cutter, and I might light it with the My Father's lighter.
I bet you don't.
No, that's the one we used on the last podcast. That was a little rough.
And it somehow or another it worked.
It did work. Somebody upstairs was looking out for us.
I was actually very smart. I actually made sure that lighter was completely full. I have another lighter off to the side, just off camera, just in case we needed it. So yeah, I was playing it smart this time. This wrapper's a little tore. Hopefully that'll burn okay.
A little tore.
Yeah. I don't know if I caught it on the side of the table, or it didn't look like that when it was in the celly.
Huh.
So yeah, hopefully that's going to work out all right.
It is like a very super easy draw.
It's a distinct tear though, so I mean, once I get past a ½ inch, it's going to be past that point.
Right. Wow, that's...
The reason I gave you that.
Good.
The reason I gave you that cigar is because that's literally one of my absolute favorite cigars. And I like stronger cigars. And that's one of them. It's kind of a rare occasion, because that's actually more of a medium at best to me. It's a medium cigar. I don't think of that as being a very strong cigar at all.
And that's what the websites all show that it's right in the middle.
Right, and that to me is kind of how it is, and I just, but like I said, that was one of my all-time favorites for a long, long time, and I still like them a lot.
Yeah.
That's one I happen to, I just, that's, again, it's Island Cigar. You're stuck, you're only going to get to have one cigar for the rest of your life. Yours might just be the one. But, however, I am smoking the CAO American, and that is, or America. America. So this is the CAO America. It's the 250. It's a special edition. It was just for this year, celebrating our 250 year celebration this year in the United States. And so they came out with a special one. It's all American tobacco in this.
That's cool.
So it has, it uses a Pennsylvania broadleaf, not a Connecticut broadleaf, but a Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper. But if you can see on there, it actually has a barber pole, and it's got a very thin Connecticut shade. So you got that barber pole, Connecticut shade, and Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper for a wrapper leaf.
Okay.
And then I believe it's mostly Pennsylvania tobacco that's filler, in here. But yeah, so it's all American tobacco, 100% American tobacco in here.
It's pretty cool because you just don't see that very often.
No, it's almost unheard of.
Right.
And for obvious reasons, here in America, it costs a fortune to do anything.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to make an affordable stick if you're paying those kind of prices for labor.
So all of this got shipped to Nicaragua, right? And CAO, they put them all together way over there, and then reshipped them back to America. But so I thought, you know what? I looked for one of these. I couldn't find them anywhere, and I walked into my local, and it's not even the local cigar shop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can go to Gillespie's Cigar Bar, and they have a beautiful walk-in humidor with all sorts of choices. I went into Discount Tobacco right here in Martinsville, right, which is more known for their cigarettes, their vapes and that kind of stuff, but they also have a small but nice walk-in humidor there with regular premium cigars. And they have done an amazing job. In the last few months, they have just kind of re-overhauled their entire collection. And I go in there now, they have an Opus X in there. They have several boxes of Opus X cigars. They've got, what else do they have? The Johnny Tobacco Knot, they've got the Connecticut Shade, and they got the Maduro, which I'm going to do a review on those at some point in time. I almost did that today, and I thought, no, I want to do this. Then again, I found this.
Right.
And this isn't just they have the American, or the America, is their regular standard line.
Yeah.
And they do use a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, or they use Connecticut wrapper, shade wrapper. But this has 100% tobacco from America.
All the fillers, everything.
It's an American Puro, but oddly enough, they had a box of these in there. I've gone to all the major, all my real cigar shops.
Right.
None of them had it. I've gone online. People were already out of them. It's a limited edition, made just this one time.
Yeah.
I walk in there and they have a box of these sitting there on the shelf, and I'm like,
I have to go buy a few of those.
How in the world? I'm planning on keeping at least one.
Right.
I bought 2 of them because I know I'm going to put one of them. It's going to stay in there forever. I probably won't ever smoke it. It's an $11 cigar. I think it's probably a $9.99 is probably the manufacturer or whatever, So it's basically a $10 cigar. And yet, Discount Tobacco in Martinsville, Indiana, had a box of them in there. When Holtz or Cigars International and Thompson's and all these other places, Cigars Daily, none of them had them left in stock. So pretty amazing.
It's cool.
So I don't know what to expect. Now I say that. Let me rephrase that. I smoked the Mark Twains. The Mark Twain cigar.
Yes.
I smoke the Maduro, Mark Twain Maduro cigar, and that is used with a Pennsylvania broadleaf.
Okay.
So I am used to the Pennsylvania broadleaf for a
Right.
wrapper because I like the Mark Twains. That's why I figured it can't be that bad because I do like the Mark Twain Maduros a lot,
Yeah.
and they're a super cheap cigar. So, or inexpensive. They're not cheap, but they're very well made. Construction's always good on those Mark
Yes.
Twains, but now I think a box is probably about $100. 2 years ago, I was buying boxes for $60 all day long. Not on
Right.
sale. They're regular price, $60 for a box of 20.
Right.
You know, now I think they're probably close to $100 a box, $80 a box, somewhere around there.
Inflation and tobacco tax.
So yeah, the CAO American, the draw is perfect on it. Like I said, I got a tear in the wrapper leaf, and I don't know if I caught it on. You know, this has got the live the live edge, and I may have caught it on that, and that may have been the snag because I can tell it's been tore.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just popping open and it's rooting down or anything. So we'll see. It's got great draw. Just a very, very, very slight. It's so it's a very open draw.
Yeah.
So far, it actually reminds me a little bit of the
Mark Twain.
I know you're waiting for me to go. Oh yeah.
Got some hazelnut and nutmeg.
Yeah, a little cherry pit seed. But no, I'm not going to go into that. But it actually does remind me a little bit of the Mark Twain Maduro. So.
And there's plenty of podcasts that do that, and I'm sure there are people that can actually get those flavors and notes off of it. Yeah, those are very professional people that know exactly what they need to drink while they're smoking it.
Yeah.
They've been told what they're supposed to expect out of it, and so they're trying to pick up on that. That's just not us.
It is not us.
We're going to tell you if it's smooth, if it's bitter, if it's got
if it burns good,
if it burns good, yeah.
Construction's bad, whether it's got good draw, whether it's too tight, too loose, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm pairing mine just with a pilsner. A pilsner beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've chosen. I mean, sometimes I'll use a lager beer, but I happen to be using a pilsner beer tonight.
Yeah.
In a frosted mug. It's ice cold. It tastes great. This is a pretty rich cigar. I don't know where this one even stands on the scale as far as whether it's medium or whatever. But to me, every cigar tastes strong when I first light them. They all kind of have I've always said that.
Fresh.
It just kind of has that almost a stale kind of taste when I first light a cigar all the time. I mean, they all kind of taste funky at first. But this one's not bad.
That didn't help. There we go. Cigars International. Shows it on the stronger side, not all the way up.
All right, medium to full.
Yeah, medium full.
And that's probably where I would have expected it to be. So what do you got going on over there?
Well, I'll tell you after we talk about badass beard care. I listen to way too many podcasts when I'm working. I work 50 hours a week outside of doing the show. And my wife makes fun of me because she's like, you listen to like every podcast. I'm like, well, I've got hours upon hours of working with nobody around me. But yeah, if you guys check out Badass Beard Care, it's veteran owned, it's American made.
Almost. It's California.
They are in California.
California. It's close to America.
But if you look at maps, California looks like it's kind of swinging. That's all I'm going to say about that.
There you go. At least for now, anyway.
At least for now. Best beard oil ever. I know I've tried about 5 different brands, and they are definitely the best.
I agree.
They have the best deodorant because I work in a warehouse with no AC, and it's been hot this summer.
In the Midwest, it can get pretty hot and sticky.
Yes, and their deodorant will literally last all day with no problem. But
I've used a lot of different products, and I will honestly say I prefer Badass Beard Care over all the other ones. I used Gibbs.
I was gonna say you were really big on Gibbs.
Big on Gibbs, and don't get me wrong,
They're still a good product.
it is a very good product. I was very satisfied with Gibbs, and then I tried the Badass Beard Care, and I was like, wow, I almost like it. It's almost even less sticky, because that's what I loved about Gibbs, was it wasn't sticky.
Right.
And it had a good scent to it. Well, now, I mean, Badass Beard Care's got all sorts of different scents.
Yeah.
Like the one I've got in my beard tonight is their original, which is, to me, their mildest, and that's what I usually do whenever I'm smoking a cigar. I don't want the scent of my beard overriding the flavor of a cigar, so that's what I use today. But it just makes the beard it just makes it soft and and everything else.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm a big fan of it. And I like their hair product.
Yeah,
Chuck's Hogwash. I've got very thin hair.
Yeah.
And it makes it look lustrous. So, yeah. Anything that makes it look like I actually still got hair on top of my head, I'm all about it.
Yeah, if you go to the description of the episode, there's a link there. Click on that link. That helps support our show. Excuse me. You get to check out, put in Steel Horse, just Steel Horse, all one letter together, or one word together, as your discount code, and that'll save you some on your purchase.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to fight it until I get past that tear.
Oh, yeah, past the tear. But on that note, I am smoking my father's Flor de la Antillas.
Flor de la Antillas.
Which is a Nicaraguan Puro, so everything's Nicaraguan. And it's definitely right in the middle. It's not strong, but it's not a shade Connecticut either.
Correct. Correct.
So it's got enough of a kick to it, but it's not overbearing.
With the natural wrapper, because they make those in a Maduro as well, and you know I generally lean towards Maduros. When I smoke a cigar, I'm usually, the broadleaf. I do like a Maduro cigar, but I actually prefer the natural.
Oh, really?
In that, as opposed to the Maduro. And I'm usually a Toro guy. I like a Toro. To me, a 6-inch cigar, 52-inch ring gauge, perfect size.
Right.
I prefer the Robusto in that particular cigar. That's what I generally smoke right there, is the Robusto.
Yeah, I'm not smoking a flavored cigar, and it's not Drew Estates.
Pretty unusual.
It's pretty unusual for me.
It's kind of funny, because I remember somebody was talking about Alec Bradley at one point in time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Alec Bradley, they're okay, but, I don't really like these big, I consider them kind of a bigger conglomerate type of plays. I was like, they're all right. And then it was like, well, I like their, and then next thing I know, I'm just rattling off cigar after cigar after cigar. The Magic Toast is probably one of my favorite cigars, which is Alec Bradley. And then, they've got their Sun-Grown, which is just absolutely amazing. But it was like, next thing I know, it's like, dear God,
apparently you're an Alec Bradley fan.
I turned out I liked Alec Bradley cigars. It was like, and they're a Honduran blend. But it was like, which obviously they knew something everybody else didn't know, because pretty much everybody that's in Nicaragua right now they're all building. My father last year built their Honduran factory, and they came out with the blue. And then they came out with another one. I forget what it's called. I call it the leotard, but I know it's not a leotard. It's leotada. The leotada or something like that. Which is just a little bit. It's got, like, to me the blue was good, but it kind of was a little weak.
Yeah.
And whereas this one, it actually brings a little bit more kick to it a little bit, which I like. But everybody's moving. There's so much unrest in Nicaragua right now. Everybody's starting to go over to Honduras and it was like, I'm all right though, because I do smoke so many Alec Bradley's. Plasencia, they're a Honduran, and Plasencia makes fantastic cigars. So a lot of people are moving over that way now. But you would think with a Nicaraguan Puro, you automatically think, to me, I think strength. I'm thinking, you know, it's a Nicaraguan Puro.
Yeah.
It's going to have some spice to it. It's going to have some strength to it. You know, like Padron. You know, you smoke a Padron, it's gonna, you know, it's going to have some power behind it. But to me, that one, it's surprising how mellow it is.
Yes. It's got a good flavor to it. I can't, like I said, I'm not able to just pick out flavors. I'm also pairing mine with Dr. Pepper, so I got 23 flavors already.
You already got to deal with 23 flavors. Now on top of that, you got to find more. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, but it's very smooth for a, you know, mid-strength cigar. I'm not like not a Connecticut smooth or nothing, but yeah.
Yeah, you may end up with a buzz. Burning good. It's got a perfect burn.
Yeah, I had to touch it up one time real quick, but it straightened itself out really well.
Yeah, this one here it's burning. The construction's really good. Like I said, the draw's good. I tore the wrapper on it, so I'm almost to the end of that part of it, and we'll see how it works. But so far, so good.
Yeah. You invested in any boats here recently?
You know, it's funny because I was getting ready to bring that up. You know, here in the Midwest, I don't know where everybody else is from, but in the Midwest, we are in Indiana. We are dealing with a ton of flooding. Steel Horse Thunder, our motorcycle show, we couldn't film today at all because there are no charity rides. There's nothing going on motorcycle-wise. There are so many people that are unhomed right now because of the floods. It's, you know, we are south central Indiana. Yes. We are about, you know, near Bloomington, Indiana, which we're IU. Guess right, the IU Hoosiers.
National
That's right.
champions.
You're national champions, undefeated national champions.
Right.
Talk about going from the cellar to the penthouse. Dear Lord.
Hopefully it doesn't go to their heads.
How in the world did that happen? I have no idea. But it's been a heck of a ride. But that's where we're at. We're down by Bloomington, Indiana. And we were fortunate.
Yes.
We haven't really seen it.
We had some pretty nasty storms, but we didn't get the monsoon rain.
We have a creek that runs through the Steel Horse Thunder Cafe. There is a creek that runs through there that dries up usually in the summertime. It's more fed from some of the nearby lakes.
Yeah. And
when they overflow, it kind of goes through that creek. And we have had some major flooding here. Back in 08, major flooding. So we've had some big time flooding, and for all the rain that we've had, the creek literally stayed dry, even with all the rains we've had. We've had some torrential downpours, some strong winds, but then it just stops.
Right.
And the next morning the creek is dry again because we've gone so long without rain.
Yeah.
But the people up north, my God, it just doesn't stop, and it's
day
just
after day.
You know, cities that are literally towns that are completely underwater now, and roads that are gone, and it's been absolutely horrible. I know where we're at, you know, all that's up north. Well, obviously water runs south, so it's all coming this way. The rivers are coming this way. Now the rivers don't generally affect where we're at here at the cafe. Like I said, ours is strictly off these other lakes, and we haven't had enough rain to make them.
Right.
And I'm assuming because we didn't have any rain.
Oh, we went like a month and a half.
Yeah, I was going to say June and July, basically, without much rain at all. So, I'm
except for on Saturdays. I don't know how that works, but
every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday when people are trying to do a charity ride. Every Saturday. That is true. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are hurting right now. And I know Indiana's not the only state. I know Illinois had to deal with a lot, you know.
Western Ohio. I know it's going all the way down into like Cincinnati and stuff because all the rivers on that side go down to Cincinnati.
Right to Cincinnati, exactly. So it's been absolutely horrible. You know, I hope it hasn't been so bad where you guys are from, but it has been absolutely. It's just devastating when you see the damage. I know of a motorcycle group, Riding for Angels. It's charity riders. they actually canceled their ride, and they actually took a truck and trailer, went up to Cambridge City, Indiana, and that's like running right along I-70 corridor east of Indianapolis. And that's a little town that has been completely...
Oh, like it's... The whole town is gone.
Completely wiped out. And they were up there. They brought a truck and trailer with tons of water, and they actually brought a grill and some hamburgers, hot dogs, food, and stuff like that to help the first responders and all that, the rescue people that are up there trying to rescue all these people from their homes. And I think they said there's been 5 deaths so far in the state of Indiana from the flooding.
I mean, it's fortunate that it's only at that number.
I said the same thing. I said, you know, it's horrible, but when you stop and think of the damage that we're seeing all over the state, and the fact that only 5 people, that's a miracle to me.
Does that include all the tornadoes too? Because they had a few tornadoes up in northern Indiana.
Yeah, I don't know if they're counting that. I don't know, because we've had major tornadoes down here.
Yeah.
And it's been an
interesting year weather-wise.
Pretty violent winter. Well, you know, we had a fantastic spring.
Yes, we had the first time in like a decade we had a real spring.
You know, your highs are in the 50, 55 degrees, sunny. You know, you're getting your rain showers coming in for your garden, and then you have those nice, you know, 55, 60 degree temperatures for the high, and it was just absolutely perfect, you know. And then, you know, finally
humidity came in.
Finally summer got here. We had a nice long spring, and then when summer decided to show up,
it showed up with a bang.
Yes, a lot of humidity. Even when we weren't getting rain, it was still humid as could be, and hotter than blue blazes.
Yeah, I'll get a link for a couple places if you want to try to help people, you know, in the Midwest with all the flooding. We'll have some links in the description, like Salvation Army and stuff like that.
Very good.
If you want to try to help out, but at the very least, you know, your thoughts and prayers for all the people in the Midwest dealing with all this right now.
Yeah, it's been, and I realize that every part in this, you know, the country has different things. You know, out west, you know, I know California deal with the forest fires. They deal with the mudslides. They deal with, you know,
I think they just had an earthquake
Earthquakes. I was going to say, you know, that's kind of what their kind of thing is. The Midwest is usually tornadoes. Right? Then you got the East Coast, which is all hurricanes. And then you go up north, and, you know, the people that are way up north and stuff, they're dealing with, you know, tornado or blizzards and
big nor'easters.
All that kind of stuff. So I do know it unfortunately it hits all over the place. But right now we're in the Midwest. That's what we're dealing with right now. And I know all of our surrounding states have been dealing with flooding, and, you know, rivers have been up high for a long time. It's been a rough one. That's for sure.
I mean, the tornadoes this year have been crazy because Illinois leads the entire country right now with over 200 tornadoes this year. Indiana, I think, is at 84, which is a record. The last record we had was 73, I think, is what it was. And we've had 84 tornadoes now, confirmed tornadoes this year. So, I mean, Indiana has more tornadoes than Texas and Kansas combined, or Texas and Oklahoma combined, one of the two, so far this year. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Like,
I always think of Oklahoma as, you know.
It's both of those states, whether it was Texas and Oklahoma or Texas and Kansas. Indiana actually has more tornadoes this year than both of those combined.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, Tornado Alley seems to be moving eastward.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Because we had the tornado go by here just about a month ago, just a mile or two south of where we're sitting right now. It was close enough, I will say this, that tornado was close enough to where we could feel it. We were inside, and we could literally, I could turn around and look at Cindy and say, it's here. And you could feel it. You could literally feel the pressure in the house. You know, they always say, you know, tornadoes, this first thing to tell you is always crack a window. Allow that air to, you know, don't let that pressure build in the house, and you could feel it, and it was just like, there it is, and it went on by, and I was like, all right. But I mean, where we were at, they recorded winds up to 114 miles an hour, and that was like 2 miles away from where the actual tornado actually was. It's like, dear Lord. And I know it went through the forestry right behind us, and we've been, I drove all through there, and it's just amazing.
Crazy. How
much it did. It's so weird because we've had Martinsville, Indiana's had multiple tornadoes since I've lived here.
Yeah.
And
they all start out here.
You see the damage when you're in town, and you see the houses that.
Right.
I've never seen one where it went all through just the forest.
Yeah.
And to go up there and see it where it just looks like a bunch of half telephone poles now. You know what I mean? Because it's not like it takes them all the way out.
No.
It literally, halfway up the tree, it just spins them and flings them.
Yeah.
And so you still got a 20-foot pole
with nothing on it.
With nothing. just nothing. Just a stick all twisted at the top. And it's like that half-mile wide.
Yeah.
And the pathway that goes all the way through that forest. And it was like, wow, I've never ever seen that before.
It's wild looking.
It is absolutely amazing. Nature is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
See, and I'm talking a lot and I'm letting this thing go out.
Really good cigar.
I will say this about this cigar right here.
It's a very slow burning cigar.
It's very slow burning. I've talked a lot.
You have, but I mean...
But this cigar here, and I'm getting towards the end of that tear on it, so right here I'm going to just help it right along right there. But when you're smoking cigars, you know how sometimes you smoke a cigar and you take a nice hit off of it and you blow the smoke out, and there's not a whole lot of smoke that comes out.
Yeah.
And there's some cigars that are just that way.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones where you take, small hit off of it, and it's like...
And it looks like you took a hit off a vape.
Yes, it's like, where did all that smoke come from? That's what this is.
Oh, yeah.
This thing produces a lot of smoke, which I like. I like that in a cigar. So yeah, I'm very pleased with the way it is. The flavor is definitely more better now.
It's hitting now.
I will say when I first lit it, it just has that typical, the way every cigar tastes to me.
Yeah, dirt.
But now I can definitely get a little bit of the cocoa.
Okay.
Definitely get that cocoa note.
Cocoa note?
Cocoa. Come here, Coco. I had a neighbor that had a dog named Coco, and that's how he talked. So whenever I say Coco, I always think of my buddy next door. Come here, Coco. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna go and buy the rest of that box of cigars because I know I won't be able to buy any more after this. Put them in my humidor and I can puff on them on special occasions. That's the thing. Here's something, and I just heard somebody talk about this. I believe it was on Cigars Daily, because I do watch a lot of Tim Swanson stuff. I like them all. Don't get me wrong. I like watching Holtz, and I like them. They're in their leather chairs and their suits and ties, and they look so professional. And then you go over to Cigars Daily. These guys are in T-shirts and
just normal blue-collar guys watching a football game,
goofing around and everything else. And it's just, I like both. I enjoy both of them equally. You know what I mean? But there was a cat that was on Cigars Daily, and they were talking about the specialty cigars.
Yeah.
And he said the problem, or special occasion cigars.
Okay.
Not specialty as in limited edition.
Right.
But a cigar you're going to buy, you and I went into a cigar shop. I bought a Ashton ESG because I'd heard a lot of things about them. And I thought, I want to try one. And they're kind of hard to find sometimes. And so they had a plethora of them. So I grabbed one and went up to the counter, and of course there was no prices on anything, and the dude rang it up and it was $35, and I thought, and this was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So it was like,
I'd hate to see what that cigar is now.
Right? I thought, $35, dear Lord. And then we thought maybe he rang both of them up, and then he's rang yours up.
Yeah.
Like, dear God, that was $35 for one cigar. And
It better be a good cigar when it's that kind of price.
And I just remember I put it in my humidor, and I just, we didn't gawk at the price or nothing, just paid it like it was no big deal. Then we went outside and talked about it. Going, dear God, I just spent $35 on a freaking cigar. And especially back in those days, because just a few years ago, you were buying cigars for $7.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, holy crap, I could have bought 5. Like I said, I got one cigar. And so it's like I'm used to getting $5 cigars, $7 cigars.
Right.
So, but I remember I hung on to that. And I used that cigar that year. Later on that year, I was celebrating my 40th wedding anniversary. And so I lit that cigar up for that night. And just for the record, was it worth $35? Absolutely.
It was worth every penny.
Absolutely. Probably my most favorite cigar I've ever smoked.
Yeah.
Now again, I was also celebrating 40 years of marriage, a good marriage at that. You know what I'm saying? You know, people ask me, it's like, oh man, I've had 37 great years. Been married 40, and I've had 37 great years. There's only 3 crappy years in the midst of all that time. That's pretty darn good. And so yes, because of the occasion, it makes the cigar even that much more special. And when I was done with it, I remember saying, I don't care that I spent $35. I would do it again and smoke one of these every year on my anniversary. Of course, I haven't since then, but I have several cigars that I've put back for special occasions. I went through a drought this last year with a lot of physical elements.
Yes.
In the hospital a lot. Everything is all done now, and I'm all better now. But I went through a spell, but I have not been able to go back to regular work,
right,
like I was working before. So financially, I don't have the money to buy cigars and stuff. Fortunately, at the time when I went through all this, I had over 300 cigars in my humidor.
Right.
And so I've been slowly but surely smoking all those cigars until next thing you know, I'm down to 20, 25 cigars left, and every one of them was a special occasion cigar. So I was like, well, I can't smoke. It's a Tuesday. I'm not gonna, because I smoke 1 cigar a day. For a while, I was smoking 2 a day.
Yeah.
And on a weekend, I could smoke 3 a day.
Right.
So I was going through a lot of cigars. Obviously when I was in the hospital, I wasn't smoking at all. But, so when you say 300 cigars, that sounds like, well, dear God, 300 cigars, I'll get you through.
Almost a whole year.
That get you a year, 2 years. For me, it did not.
Right.
So within a half a year, I was like, dang, I don't have hardly any cigars. And I started going, and I was buying my factory smokes. I was buying, my $2 and $3 cigars that I could smoke on a regular basis because I didn't want to smoke them, these other ones. And there was a guy on there, and that's what he said. He goes, so many of us get into this routine of, oh, this is for my special occasion cigar here, so I'm not going to smoke it now.
Yeah.
He's like, smoke it. Make whatever occasion you're having a special occasion. He's like, he said, that's what makes the cigar a special occasion cigar. He said, it's not just the cigar itself, it's for whatever you want. He said, next thing you know, you end up with you have a whole humidor full of cigars you won't smoke.
Right.
Because it's a special one, so I gotta wait for a special occasion. And it's like, he goes, and then a birthday comes around, or a wedding comes around, or somebody has a baby comes around, and you still won't smoke it.
Yeah.
Because, well, I don't know if it's a special enough occasion. And I was like, crap, that's me. That's exactly what I've been doing.
Yep.
I got to the point where I have all these great cigars, but I won't smoke any of them because they've got to be a special occasion. And don't get me wrong, if it's a $35 cigar, it's got to be a really good special occasion.
But an $11 cigar?
Yeah, or even a $20 cigar
$20
today.
cigar, yeah.
In today's world, a $20 cigar, it's hard for me to light one up on Tuesday evening. But you know what? I started doing that. And it was like, why did I buy them? If I'm not going to smoke them, You know, if and now again, I said I was going to buy one of these. I'll never smoke. I'll keep one in my humidor for the rest of my life.
I mean, it's a little different because it's
a special edition.
Limited special edition cigar.
Yeah, limited edition. You know, they won't make any more of these ever again. You'll never see that band on anything ever again. But yeah, I just, it was like, you know what? They're right. I do need to enjoy the cigar, you know. My granddaughter got married. I was able to officiate her wedding a few weeks ago, so I got one of those cigars and I brought it with me, and you know, we were in Missouri, and after the wedding was done and everything was over, and we went back to the hotel room, and you know, I put on a pair of, it was actually very cool. We're in southern Missouri, but yet that weekend the weather just changed completely. The high for that day was like 75 degrees. It was absolutely perfect. Evening time, it was down in the mid 60s, down around 60 degrees. And so it was ideal. I put on a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt, and they had a bar in that hotel, and then they had a patio area that they let people smoke.
Yeah.
And it turned out we were the only ones there that night anyway, so we ordered a couple beers and went out there and sat out there, and I lit up my cigar that I was like, I normally would have said, all right, it's not a special occasion enough. And I was like, you know what? This is exactly what this cigar is for, is to celebrate. And it was awesome. And I just enjoyed it, and I didn't worry about it, and it was just fantastic. And I think that's what makes a special occasion cigar special.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked it. So if you're hoarding those cigars and you're keeping them back and you refuse to smoke them, do yourself a favor. Smoke it and enjoy it. That's why you bought it.
Not to get too churchy, but nobody's guaranteed tomorrow, so every day is a special occasion.
Exactly.
Enjoy it.
And as you get older, the more that filters in, you know. When I start thinking about the fact I turned 65 this year, you know, I'm going on Medicare. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. How many more special occasions am I going to have?
Right. It's a really good cigar. I inhaled a little bit earlier. That's I'm sure you saw me.
For all you new viewers out there, if you're just getting into cigars,
do not inhale.
Do not inhale a cigar. A premium cigar is not meant to be inhaled. If you were to talk to Mr. Fuente himself, or Mr. Padron himself, or Mr. AJ Fernandez, or the Garcia brothers, or any of these big names, Steve Saka, if you talk to any of these people, these big cigar makers, and you know, you tell them that you inhale their cigar, the first thing they're going to tell you is stop. Do not do that. That's not what they're made for. They're not made to be inhaled. And you know why.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily it was a very small amount, so it didn't bother me too much. But I've done that before when I first started smoking, where I got a pretty good hit off one. I was like, oh no. And then you can't smoke it. That was a nice little smoke ring. Then you can't smoke the rest of it because it's burning your throat.
Yeah, I had a friend that was he liked Fuentes, and he doesn't smoke cigars normally. But he does smoke cigarettes. And one time he was like, you know, I'd always offer him a cigar. I say, hey, if you want a cigar, and I know he likes Fuentes, so I always make sure I keep some in the humidor. I always kept. Yeah, I'd always keep, whether it's a Hemingway or whether it's the 858. If you like a Dominican cigar, you know, Arturo Fuente is obviously that they've been around since the beginning of time. Great quality cigars. The 858 to me is like, and you can usually find those for like $8. You know, now they're probably $10.
Probably.
But I used to buy them all day long, $5 to $8 all day long, and they were fantastic cigars. The 858 is probably my favorite. So I always kept some in the humidor, and I let him have one night, and he's smoking it, and he's just inhaling away, and I was like, we said something, and I said, well, you know, we were talking, there was a group of people, and I was like, yeah, and I said something, I said, well, you don't inhale cigars. And he's like, well, I do. I was like, Well, you do know if you talk to Mr. Fuente himself, he would tell you to stop.
Right.
He would tell you do not inhale the cigar. It's not meant to be that way. So
No, it's an upscale. Dang it! What was I trying to say? My mind went blank.
But yeah, it's definitely not made to be inhaled.
No.
You get the flavor notes in your mouth as you puff it in, you blow it out. You can do what they call a retrohale, where when you suck it in and you blow it out through your nostrils.
I don't do that.
You'll get yeah. If it's a peppery cigar, it's gonna burn your nostrils. You know, I was born in 1961, so I am a product of the 60s and 70s. Okay, I know normally you go to the next decade,
Right.
But I was born in 61, so
Right.
you know, I was 9 years old by the time they were over, so I was getting older by then.
Yeah.
And but the 70s for sure, the 70s and even the early part of the 80s.
Yeah.
I did a lot.
You burn out all your.
When it came to nose, there was a little thing called cocaine that was going around back in the 70s and early 80s, and so I burnt down everything in my nose. So cigars, when I retrohale, they generally don't burn too much because I don't have a whole lot left up there.
Well, and I had that.
You had surgery.
I had balloon sinuplasty and other stuff done in my nose. So the lining in my nose is not very thick anymore since they had to burn everything down so I could actually breathe.
All right. So yeah, it's probably not best for you
Probably not.
to retrohale.
Probably not.
I used to all the time. I mean, almost the entire cigar I would retrohale. Whereas anymore, I hardly ever do it at the beginning of a cigar. But that middle part of the cigar is when I find myself, because for me that's, they rate cigars, in thirds.
Yeah.
And to me that second third, the middle part of that cigar to me is just, that's the bomb. That's the flavor bomb part of the cigar. I absolutely love that portion of the cigar.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Most cigars, for me, I find most cigars, they fade out as they get that final third. For a long time, I didn't smoke the final third of a cigar because I just didn't like it.
That's the phase I'm in, my smoking.
After a while, I've gotten to the point now where I'll still smoke them and I'll still puff on them. I don't puff on them as much when it gets down there, but I usually do puff on them until I can't hold them anymore. Unless it's a big cigar.
Yeah.
Because that was a cigar. I still have that one that you got me from the, what is it called? EG?
EG Cigars.
EG Cigars. Date City, South Carolina? Florida.
Date City, Florida.
Date City, Florida. Why did I say South Carolina?
I don't know.
I know where Date City is.
Threw me off a little bit when you said it.
Right?
That's a big cigar.
I still have that one. Yeah, I don't know. 60 ring gauge to me is what I call a Gordo. It's usually a 60 ring gauge cigar. That's got to be a 70 or an 80. It's a big ass cigar.
I didn't plan on buying that one for you because I didn't know if you'd ever actually smoke it. But my wife was like, "No, you got to get him that one."
And I haven't smoked it yet for that reason. It's like I'm gonna have to put back because I don't smoke cigars that fast anyway. So it's like, a cigar. If they tell you, "Hey, this cigar will burn for about 30 minutes," that's gonna. I guarantee it's gonna be 50 for me at least. I can almost double. It's a half-hour cigar. It's gonna probably last me about an hour.
Yeah. So that one's probably maybe about an hour smoke, you think?
Which one?
That big one.
Big giant one?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that'll last me 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. But I'm sure they rate it.
I would think that would be an hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
I would think that would be a good 90-minute cigar because that's big. That is.
And that wasn't the biggest one they had.
Yeah, that's a massive cigar. And I was debating whether to smoke that one or not tonight, and I thought, that's a good 2 o'clock in the afternoon cigar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess the next podcast is going to be midday.
Where you can smoke for about 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be going back down there in November. Tentatively right now. That's the plan, is to go back down there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, my mother-in-law lives down there, so I think we're going to get back down there in November, so I'll probably stop back in there and see how they're doing at the shop and get some more cigars.
Yeah, I'll have to give you a pocket full of money to take down there and pick me up a few. Their stuff was good. Everything I smoked
was really good.
Everything I smoked from there was really, really good. So yeah, if you're down in Dade City, Florida,
they have a few shops. I think that's their main shop is Dade City, but they do have a few in the Tampa area.
Okay. Which is cigar heaven down there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just where all of them are at.
Yeah, when we stayed in, I guess that was Charleston. The ones I got you from Charleston, they actually hand rolled them right there in the shop that I found. And
That's why I said South Carolina, because I forgot you brought me some of those.
And
too.
there was no signage on that store, nothing. I just saw tobacco leaves in the window. I'm like, I wonder if that's an actual rolling shop. And I never saw anybody go in there. I'm like, I'm not going up to this door. Like, I've never been to Charleston before. I don't know if this is normal. And then finally, a person went in there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in. I couldn't breathe. It was so strong because it's fresh tobacco in there.
Yeah.
It was so strong, and it was like my eyes were burning. And they had a few people in there literally rolling cigars. When you walk in, I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Right.
And that's right there in the historic area in Charleston. Just a tiny little shop.
Huh.
No name, nothing on it. Just happened to be right behind our hotel.
That's awesome.
Right?
Don't you love when that kind of stuff happens? Yeah, this has got a really good finish on it. When you're done, I kind of like to just kind of move my tongue around the top of my mouth and stuff, and sometimes you get that real dirty finish on the end where it's like, yeah,
Yes.
this is not. This has got a really nice finish on it. I can't think of the flavor, but I mean, it's like.
Smoke's going.
And again, I'm not the type of guy that can. Well, that's. People are like, oh, it's got kind of an almond taste. Well, more of a hazelnut.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows what those nuts taste like? They taste like nuts. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, generally, if I could taste anything, it's usually cocoa or
Good
like a caramel coffee,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, I get those notes
Your
a lot.
distinct notes,
Yes.
dark chocolate. You get a little bit of dark chocolate out of this.
Yeah.
That's why the magic toast has a really good dark
Yes.
chocolate note to it. I get those out of CAO makes like I said, they have one that's called the American,
Yeah.
and then there's also the Brasilia, and there's the Italia, and there's the.
I always forget about the Italia.
So they got quite a few different ones. But the Brasilia, I like a Brazilian
Yeah.
wrapper leaf. You know that. I'm a sucker. If it's got any kind of Brazilian tobacco, I usually like it. And that Brasilia, you talk about that dark chocolate note to it. It's like, oh my God. There's a cigar. The CAO Brasilia. Everybody says, oh, the longer you let them sit, the better they are, the better they are. I found that they are good to sit for probably about a year or so.
Yeah.
But I had some that may have been close to 2 years old, and when I smoked them,
Not so good.
they were good, but they were so smooth it took part of the flavor that I like.
Right.
It smoothed out so much that it was like, okay, but I like a little bit of that kick that I used to get from it. They were my favorite to pair with fresh blackberries. We have blackberry trellises out here at the cafe. And that's normally my summer cigar. I would love a Brasilia in the evening time after dinner, and have one of those Brasilias, and then go out and grab a handful of fresh picked blackberries.
Yeah.
And I like them. Most everybody likes them when they're super sweet. When they're completely ripe on the vine, you put them in your mouth and they just dissolve, and it's like just like eating a sugar pack.
Right.
I like them right before that point. Where they're a little more tart.
Yeah.
And they get that, and you get your and so I love that, and just to eat some of those, and then take a draw off of that Brasilia cigar was just the greatest pairing in the world. I absolutely love that pairing.
Have you smoked the Italia?
I have.
That one's a lighter one. I was thinking the Italia was more, may not be Connecticut, but I think it was a lighter leaf.
It's definitely a lighter leaf, lighter wrapper leaf.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what's on that one.
So I think that was one that I wanted to try, was the Italia.
But it's good. I've liked all of them. Every one that I've tried, I like. CAO, that's another one.
Yeah.
I kind of like them. Even their flavored cigars. Back in the day, they had the
Moon Trance.
The Moon Trance. I used to buy the small ones in the tins. Smoked those for years. Loved those cigars. Those were my favorite for a long time. And then I gave one to your son-in-law. I gave him a whole tin. I was like, dude, I can't smoke them. And now I don't like them at all.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they were my favorite. I smoked them all the time. So I like their flavored cigars. I like their regular cigars. And again, I would say I'm not a big CAO fan. And then it's like, well, actually, I do like all of their cigars. Every one I've ever tried. I've never tried one I didn't like.
Yeah.
And that's something we try to share all the time with cigars. I'm not big on buying boxes of cigars. Now, if I get a good deal on a box, yes, I'm going to buy it. Certain cigars, like I said, the Mark Twains, I usually keep a box of those. The Brazilias, I usually buy those by the box. But then, on occasion, and I shop everywhere, whether it's in a local brick and mortar or whether it's online through whatever.
Right.
You'll find great deals.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll buy a box then. But generally, I'd rather do 5-packs.
Yes.
I'd rather do bundles of, different ones to where you get to try different cigars. I don't know if I've mentioned it on this podcast or not, but I have a prescription through... Prescription. Not a subscription. It's a prescription.
Prescription.
From...
It keeps you sane.
Exactly. It's from Holtz. And so every month I get 5 new cigars. And I absolutely love it because you don't know what you're going to get ahead of time. So you're surprised with them. And it's good. In fact, I just got mine in today.
Oh.
Just got them today. That's last month's. So yeah, I of course don't have my glasses with me. But I got the Ashton Heritage, Oliva V, Rocky Patel, the Hooligan, which is one I've been wanting to try. Tatuaje, Havana, and then Romeo Julieta, the 1875.
Okay.
That was the 5 cigars I got. So, the rating on them, one's a 95, a 93, a 92, a 91, and then the Romeo and Julieta, which is a pretty common cigar.
Yeah.
It's only rated to 87. When it comes to milder cigars, that Romeo and Julieta is my absolute favorite.
Huh.
So it's just really cool because there was a couple cigars in here. I'm a big Ashton fan.
Yeah.
The ESG was wonderful. I used to smoke the aged Maduro all the time. I always liked the Ashton aged Maduro because it kind of broke the norm. It's a black cigar. It is black, and yet it's no stronger than that cigar right there you're smoking.
Right.
It is medium.
So weird.
Straight out medium.
Which proves that it doesn't matter how dark or how light the cigar is.
Yeah.
They come in their own strengths.
Yeah. General rule of thumb, the darker cigars are
Yes.
usually stronger, but it's not a guarantee. But that's something else I encourage you guys to do. Find a company you like, and they do a cigar thing like that, a cigar of the month club, where you get a 5-pack. Or you go online, and a lot of like Thompson's, I think, is the one that used to do a lot of 5-pack fever.
Yep.
And there's times you can get them, $20.
Yeah.
$19.99 for 5 cigars. And they'll have good cigars in there. They'll have some other ones. And again, if I buy 5 and I'm paying $20 for 5 cigars,
right, that's pretty good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
$4 a cigar, and if I don't like them, it's not that big of a deal. I'll put them back in the humidor, and when somebody comes over, that's what I'll give away. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't mean they're not a good cigar. It just means they don't hit my flavor. The Johnny Tobacco Knot. Like I said, I'm probably
that's one like the little astronaut looking dude, right? Yeah, 'cause they always look really cool.
And all I've ever heard about is how great these cigars are. Everybody raves over the Connecticut. The Connecticut Shade is just the best cigar. I got one. I did not like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay, but again, it's a little more expensive cigar.
Right.
And so it was like, I paid $20 for this cigar, and it's like, I wouldn't give you $5 for it. In all honesty, it was like, it was okay. You know, if I paid $5 for it, I wouldn't complain.
Right.
If I paid $10, that's like, yeah, it's all right. But when I spend $20 for a cigar, I don't want to go, yeah, it's all right.
Right.
You know what I mean? However, I did finally find the Maduro. The Maduro,
Yeah.
fantastic. I mean, a fantastic cigar. Absolutely loved it. But that's what, when you do the 5-packs, when you do the cigar of the month, I'm getting cigars that I would never think to. I probably wouldn't just buy this or that. You know what I mean? Or it's not a cigar that would even maybe catch my attention when I'm in a humidor.
Right.
Again, Ashton. If I'm looking at Ashtons, I'm going to be looking at the ESGs or the VSGs generally, or the aged Maduro. So to get the heritage, it's like, you know, I've always wanted to buy one, but I just, I know I like that one, so I always buy that one instead. So now I got one that I'm going to get to try, and it may turn out to be my favorite. You know what I mean? You never know when that next favorite cigar is going to come around. And I strongly encourage people to try different ones and do something like that where you're getting a variety. It's just really good.
Yeah, I like doing a 5-pack because for a long time Thompson had the white series. Is that Rocky Patel?
Rocky Patel, the white, I think it's 1999 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. They had those in there, and a 5-pack on its own was, I think, over 50 to 60, and this was a couple years ago.
Right.
And you were getting that for $20 if you bought
4 or 5-packs.
Yeah, 4 or 5-packs. So it would knock it down to that price, and it's like, why wouldn't you do that? Because you're getting enough, you're getting 5, so it's not like it's just one. If you're going to like a brick and mortar and you're just buying one of all these different flavors, you're getting 5 of them, and it's $20, and you would have been paying, $60 for that. Yeah. And then you're not, being online, you got to pay your excise tax and all that, depending on your state. So,
yeah, and some states are worse than others when it comes to that kind of stuff. Martinsville or Indiana is not the greatest, but it's certainly not the worst.
Right.
We kind of fall right in the middle.
Yeah.
I know I've watched some things online where it talks about the 10 worst states to live in if you're a cigar guy, or the 10 best states. Indiana's not going to be in either one.
Right.
We are literally right in the middle.
It's kind of like where you want to be at a job. You don't want to be at the top and they keep putting more stuff on you, and you don't want to be at the bottom where they're complaining about you. You'd be right in the middle, so nobody says a word about you, and you just do your job and keep on moving.
Exactly. This cigar has been very good. Now,
Mine's starting to get a little. It doesn't.
Is it getting wonky?
Well, it is getting a little bit of a run, but it's starting to get to where it doesn't want to stay burning.
What causes that?
I'm assuming it's because of humidity. Because, it feels like the Amazon right now in Indiana. And it was sitting in a perfect humidor.
It's because I've been questioning that, and because I've noticed that, because that's my guess. And that's all it is a guess.
Right.
But I generally don't have the issue. But I have noticed this summer.
Yeah. And it's been...
When I get halfway done with the cigar, I'm having to, that last half.
It's just now.
I have to constantly keep burning the edges of it to keep it going, because they keep wanting to burn. They keep wanting to go out on me, and it's like my humidors are many years old. I've been keeping them the same way. You know what I mean? And I generally don't have that issue, but I have noticed, like right now, we're in this room. The ventilation is extremely well. I know you can use air purifiers. I will tell you, nothing purifies the air better than an exhaust fan that blows all the air outside. So
go this way first.
The air conditioning can't keep up when we have all the exhaust fans on. And so I can feel the humidity in this room now. It's warmed up a bunch in this room. And I'm just wondering, is that why the cigar wants to constantly keep going out when I get towards the second half of it?
Yeah, because I know, if
you got a better answer for me, please
Yes,
leave it in
leave
the
it in the
comments.
comments.
Please leave it in the comments because, again, I'm just guessing.
Right.
I don't know.
We don't go and study all the breakdowns of cigars and
Yeah, and I'm sure there are cigars, like if a cigar's too tight, if it's rolled too tight, sometimes there's just a plug in the cigar.
right.
You get past that one piece of stem or whatever that's holding everything up, then all of a sudden it works great.
Yeah.
Other cigars are just simply rolled too tight. They're just too tight and they're never going to draw very good. And I can promise you, I will only smoke half of that cigar because I'll get so tired of constantly fidgeting with it and trying to make it work. To me, there's nothing ruins a cigar than a bad draw.
Yeah.
A tight draw is horrible. If it's too loose, I don't like that either. But I can handle that.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was borderline too loose.
Is that right?
Yeah. But because I like it to be right in the middle where I can really feel the draw on it.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm just breathing in like a normal breath.
Like through a straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want it to be that loose.
Right. But yeah, this one was borderline there, but as it burned down, it got a little tighter.
Yeah, that's exactly how this one was.
Oh yeah?
That's exactly how this one was. When I first lit it, I was like, it's got a good draw. It was like a little looser than what I prefer. Now it's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect draw on it. And so yeah.
I mean, you guys know, generally this is the point where I put a cigar down.
I've been watching. I was wondering whether or not you would relight.
And I'm not getting any of the Yeah, I'm not getting any of that on the tongue where it's like
I don't have a big enough glass of drink to mask over this.
Yeah,
because yes, there are some that just get very dirty, very
and generally your flavored cigars do because your tobacco's mixing with the flavor and it's burning down, so it's getting hotter. And so I find with flavored cigars, once I get into that second third, once you get towards the end of that second third, it's like I'd rather just put it up because I already know 99% of the time for me, it's going to get to the point where I'm going to get mad, and then I'm going to have this aftertaste for the next day and a half, 2 days, and I'd rather just stay enjoying it and just put it down. I got to smoke most of it. I'm happy. But yeah, this has been a very good cigar.
We have talked about that multiple times.
Yes.
When you get to the point where it's like, it's really lost its flavor, I'm just, All right, there's a little bit of glue that stuck to the wrapper leaf, a little bit, not too bad, not too bad. It'll still burn just fine. Just fine, it didn't tear all the way through. But yeah, we've said that forever. There's nothing worse than having a great cigar, and then the second half, it starts to fade, and you keep smoking it, and by the time you put it out, you're like, yeah.
And you're in your head, you're like, that was a horrible cigar. It's like, but it wasn't. The first 2/3 of it were amazing. If I would have just put it down, once you start, you'll feel it. You'll feel that aftertaste, that, what do they call it?
The finish. Very dirty finish.
When you feel that dirty finish starting to come on, just put it down, and you're going to be much happier for it.
Yep. For a long time, I was like, well, I spent so much money on a cigar, I got to keep smoking it. And that's why I smoked Churchills forever. For years. That's all I smoked was a Churchill.
I've only smoked one Churchill.
For that reason. Because, I was smoking smaller cigars because I didn't like that last half. And then I had a buddy of mine that always smoked Churchills. He goes, well, why do you think I would smoke a Churchill? He said, I'm only going to smoke the first half of the cigar, so if I smoke a Churchill, I'm still smoking 4 inches of cigar, or 3.5 inches of cigar, whatever. And so he's like, that's why I do that. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
It's a little bit of a cheat code.
That kind of makes sense. If you don't like that last third of a cigar, if you get a longer cigar, you get more, you're going to enjoy it more. And it's like, and then when it gets to that point, I just put it down. That's pretty good.
I don't know what just happened with our studio light. Apparently it's time to party.
We got some disco lights going on now. We got everything going on. I kind of like the red light. That's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if...
Like you've said, Yeah, you're getting Churchill, so you're smoking more, but depending on the size of the cigar, you might get a different flavor or a different smoke out of it.
True.
So, you know, a Robusto and a Churchill they're going to burn a little different, they're going to taste a little different. So, yeah, you might be getting to smoke more of your cigar, but is that the taste that you want out of a cigar? It's going to have
a different flavor. That is true. That is true, because most cigar makers, when they make a cigar, when they put a blend together, they don't necessarily change that blend for each size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to have a Corona, you're going to have a Robusto, you're going to have a Toro, you're going to have a Churchill, you might have a Torpedo, you might have a double Robusto or whatever. You know what I mean? It goes on and on and on. And but it does. It changes the diameter, the ring gauge. A skinnier cigar is going to taste different than a fatter cigar.
Yeah.
And when they put that blend together, they have a tendency to put the blend together for either a Robusto or a Toro. Is what they make that blend for. So that means anything other than the Toro, it's going to have a little bit different flavor to it. It's going to have a little bit different. Sometimes it's so small, most people won't even pick up on it.
Yeah.
Other times it's very big. That cigar you're smoking.
Yeah.
To me, perfect cigar, 6x52. Yeah. I like a good classic Toro cigar. However, in that particular, my father, the Flor de la Antillas, I always called it the Antillas. I actually prefer that in the Robusto.
Yeah.
I actually prefer that size over the larger size. Same as whether you like a Maduro or if you like a natural or a Maduro or a Connecticut shit, whatever, I generally tend to stick with Maduros. But yet in that particular cigar, now I'll smoke both, don't get me wrong. Right. I like the Maduro as well. But if there's a Maduro in the box and there's a natural, I usually buy the natural.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I ever buy the Maduro when I buy that particular cigar. And that's the funny thing about cigars.
Yep.
They're
you got to try them all. You can have a favorite, and that's fine, but that can't be the only thing you smoke. There's thousands of cigars out there.
And I have found, if I stick with nothing but Maduros, after a while, your palate does kind of get burnt out. It's like, it gets to the point where every cigar tastes the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I'm smoking, they all taste the same. And that's when I realize, all right, I've burnt out my palate. And then whether it's
throw a few Connecticut's in there.
Yeah, it's whether I'm going to take a few days where I'm not going to smoke a cigar, or I'm going to do that. I'm going to pick up a nice Connecticut shade. I'll pick up my Romeo and Julieta.
Yeah.
You know, I'll smoke something like that that's a little more milder and creamier, and I'll start smoking some of those.
Yeah.
And then when I go back to my stronger cigars, they have that
flavor back.
That great flavor that I love so much, or that boldness that I like so much. You know, sometimes I do. I want something mild and mellow and relaxing, and other times I want something to kick my teeth in. You know, like this one here. This has absolutely I get no spice out of this at all, and I really thought I would. Pennsylvania broadleaf to me is spicier than a Connecticut broadleaf.
Right.
I find it just hits a little harder and a little spicier. And I'm not getting that with this at all. I mean, I'm not getting even a tingle when I do a retrohale.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why that is, because a Pennsylvania broadleaf is different than a Connecticut broadleaf.
Yeah.
And I find that it's generally, to me, it's usually kicks a little harder, whereas this one does not. And maybe it's that little bit of a barber pole that has that little bit of Connecticut shade mixed with it. I don't know. I don't smoke enough barber poles to really...
Yeah. They look cool, but to me, it's like, I don't know if that's going to mess up the flavor for me or not. So I think the Filthy Hooligan.
Yes.
That one's a barber pole.
Alec Bradley.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a good cigar. Is that the one? Was that the one we smoked?
4th of July.
Well, that was St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, that's why I'm sorry, not 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
It's got the big shamrock on the...
Yeah. Because I know there was two of them that we had bought.
The regular is the Filthy Hooligan, and then the other one is the Shamrock.
Okay.
And we bought them. The Shamrock's actually a more expensive cigar.
Yes.
I think it's a triple barber pole.
Okay.
Whereas the Hooligan is just the double barber pole. And so I'm thinking, well, this one's more expensive. I'm going with that one too. And that was the first one I smoked. And I was like, it's all right. It's like I'll smoke it once a year on St. Patty's Day.
Right.
But then I tried the regular Filthy Hooligan.
Mm-hmm.
And that was much better to me. And that to me is a really good cigar. And that's one I've been smoking. And I had 3 of them. And so next year when I smoke on St. Patty's Day, I'll be smoking my last one.
Oh.
It'll be 3 years old. So I'll see what it tastes like after sitting in the humidor for 3 years. Because that's what I've had people comment to me about. You know, what a waste of humidor space if you're going to put a box in there and let it sit for 2 years, you know, because I've talked about my, you know, the Mark Twains. You put a year age on them and they taste so good. Mm-hmm. And it was like I had to explain to them, well, first of all, I have multiple humidors.
Right.
I keep a lot of humidors. Like I said, I had somewhere between 300 and 400 cigars on hand at all times. And so I don't smoke the same cigar over and over and over. And so by the time I finally finish that 20th cigar out of that box, it's probably been about a year's time. You know, you smoke a couple a month or whatever, and you know, I mean, it's gonna take you about a year to get through a box of them.
Yeah.
And I will say for sure, the Mark Twains, I've yet to leave one in the humidor too long to where I was like, oh yeah, it's no good now.
Yeah.
They to me, those get better and better. I've never had one more than a year or two, maybe a year and a half, maybe at the oldest. Mm-hmm. And they've always been fantastic. The Brasilia, I've noticed, I only like it, you know, after about a year, I don't like them as much. To me, the flavor kind of goes down a little bit. And again, that's all personal preference.
It went out again, didn't it?
I know somebody else, I know another guy that he'll tell you don't touch them for 3 years. Put a box of Brazilias in your humidor, leave them for 3 years, and it's going to be the best cigar you've ever had. And like I said,
maybe he just likes a really mild cigar.
He likes them very mild. He doesn't like a lot of spice. He doesn't like a lot of that stuff. And for me, I didn't like it as much. I preferred it better without too much age on them. You see where it's coming out down here, right? We're stuck to the band. When I took the band off, there was a little bit of glue on there.
If there's a topic, cigar topic or anything that you guys think that we haven't talked about or anything, just put it in the comments. That way we can see it. We'll do some research on stuff. We'll bring up other topics.
The whole purpose of a cigar, to go back to the whole special occasion thing, I think you can make, and maybe this is my age, I hear people nowadays where they talk about, I've watched marriages fall apart, I've watched, you know, relationships fall and everything else, and the common thing is, you know, somebody saying, well, I'm trying to find who I am, I don't know who I am, I'm trying to discover who I am. And I remember talking to somebody about that one time. And they're like, well, I just don't even know who I am. I have to figure out who I am before I can be the right partner for somebody else and everything else. And it's like, I understand what you're saying, or I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily understand it, only because I came from the generation of you can be whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You decide. You make your choice. You decide what you want to be.
Right. We're
capable of doing whatever we want. So I said, for me, it's not a matter of finding who I am, it's creating who I am. I'm going to create who I am. And so to me, that's kind of the same way with your special occasions. You know, what do you define as a special occasion? And again, I understand, if you're talking about a $35 cigar, a $50 cigar, yes, it's going to be a wedding. It's going to be the birth of one of your children, or you know what I mean, or a big anniversary. I get all that, but you can make special occasions. We all went to, we have Cedar Creek here in Martinsville, Indiana. Cedar Creek, it's a winery, brewery, and distillery, and an eatery. All on the same property. They have a huge outdoor stage. They do big concerts out there. You can fit, you know, a couple thousand people out there in the fields for the concerts and stuff. And we went a few weeks ago, and so, you know, being able to go out there and have my children there, my grandchildren there, and listen to music. And we were listening to tribute bands. Right. I think it was Eric Church tribute band.
Eric Church and Tennessee Whiskey, Chris Stapleton tribute.
Chris Stapleton tribute band. If you like Chris Stapleton, if you ever see Tennessee Whiskey,
yes,
that's what they go by.
Tennessee Whiskey Chicago on their socials because of trademark issues. That's right. They had to put Chicago in there because they're from Chicago.
So it's Tennessee Whiskey Chicago, and they are a Chris Stapleton tribute band.
But they're a Chris Stapleton.
They were fantastic.
Clone. I mean, literally. It sounded like Chris Stapleton. It was amazing.
It was amazing. I almost didn't want to go, only because I'm a huge Chris Stapleton fan. I've seen Chris Stapleton multiple times in concert, and I thought, man, this guy's not going to be able to do anything. And he was fantastic. To me, I could have lit up a special occasion cigar for that, because to me that was, you know, it was just a random weekend night, Saturday night. But it was a very special night for me to be able to sit there with a couple generations of family, all having a good time. Everybody's smiling. Everybody, you know, we had a couple beers. I'm not a big wild partier anymore. So for me to drink 2 or 3 beers, you know, over the course of 4 or 5 hours that we're out there, not like we're getting hammered or any of that kind of stuff. You know, being very responsible and just had an absolute blast. To me, that's a special occasion. You know, it doesn't have to be something astronomical. It's just we can make our special occasions. Because that's, to me, what the cigar is all about. It's the time when I light up a cigar, I know I've got an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Maybe 2 hours. I can watch 2 episodes of Yellowstone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know if I light up a cigar, I'm going to watch at least 2 episodes of Yellowstone before I'm done with that cigar. And generally, I've got about an inch left, and we'll usually start another episode. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those kind of things, but to me, that's what the cigar is all about. It's the time where you get to, listen, all your problems are always going to be there. Problems are always going to be there. But if you can take an hour or 2 hours out of your time
and just breathe,
enjoy a cigar, enjoy whatever you like, whether it's Dr. Pepper, whether it's a cold beer. You know, sometimes it might be a little splash of whiskey.
Oh yeah, I do have some Hard Truth coconut rum in this. I forgot about that.
Yes. So I mean, but that's what it's all about. Sometimes I'm watching TV. Sometimes I might be watching a football game. Other times I could be in here by myself, and I'll have my Bible out, and I'll be doing Bible, you know, studies while I'm smoking a cigar. And to me, that's what it's about. Is to have an hour and a half where I'm not worried about. You know, I got floors that are in horrible shape in my house. I know I'm going to have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time repairing, and it's in the kitchen, so I know I'm going to have to take out everything. You got to take out the stove island. I got to take out the sink. I got to take out the cabinets, all that stuff. And it's like, you know what? It's going to be there 2 hours later. You know what I'm saying? It's like the problems are always going to be there. But if you can take a little bit of time, it just helps, for me, it helps recharge. And it's
clears
like,
out the mind mentally.
And the health risks, to me, and this is just my personal opinion. I don't inhale a cigar. I have fantastic ventilation when I'm inside. Other times I'm sitting outside. I sit by campfires all the time. I breathe more campfire smoke than I do cigar smoke. You know what I'm saying?
And there's enough studies to go and find that it's been proven the cigars are not cigarettes. Cigars are a whole different category with minimal health risks.
And that goes to the
USDA and what's that? Tobacco
ATF.
ATF. I'm like, I know it's tobacco and firearms. What's the first one?
But yeah, when this all went to court, this is the judicial system here. That's what they said. You know, they came out and they're trying. So what is the harm? What is the harmful part of smoking a cigar? And they couldn't come up with anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, and the guy for the government, you know, he even said that to the judge. He goes, so you're telling me there's no health risk whatsoever by smoking cigars? And the judge told him, I don't know. That's what you were supposed to tell us.
Right.
That's why you're here. You're supposed to tell us what they are, and you can't think of anything.
Yeah.
So what you tell me, what is the harm? And they had no answer to it. And it's like, and yes, there have been studies that show the relaxation part of it, the de-stressing of one's life is very healthy. It's very healthy to de-stress. And that's what they were saying. It's, again, if we're sitting in here and there's no ventilation,
right? Yeah, then it's
and
a
you're
whole different
sitting in the
category.
whole thing, you know, kind of like back in my days when I was smoking weed and we roll up all the windows in the car. I mean, hell, I grew up again in the '60s. Okay, I know what it's like to get in the car. You know, mom, dad, and 5 kids hop in a station wagon car in the middle of the winter up on Long Island, and mom and dad light up cigarettes.
Don't crack the window.
No windows. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you had the little butterfly windows back in those days. You know, you open that up. But it's, and all of us kids are driving to church on a Sunday morning in a smoke-filled car. And, you know, yes, it's obvious, you know, if you're doing that, it's not good, you know. But when you're in good ventilation, you know, in this room we have ventilation that's exhausting air out of the room. Yeah. We have air purifiers. Fresh air coming in, and we have air purifiers as well going on in here. You have to use a little bit of common sense. When I'm sitting by a campfire, if that smoke's blowing in my face, what do? We get up and we move. We move around so the smoke's not blowing right in our face. I mean, it's just kind of common sense. We have to use a little common sense.
Finally went out, I think.
I'm pretty proud of you, though. You smoked that one down pretty good.
It pretty good.
You smoked that down pretty darn good.
That is not normal for me. That is my father's Flor de la Antillas. And I don't smoke cigars that far down. So that tells you right there, that's a good cigar.
Yeah. Yeah, and that name, I know the name comes from the Antillas, is the Antilles Islands or whatever, which is part of Cuba and all that down there. And Flor de la, the Flor is flower. Yeah. It's like the flower of the islands. It's kind of like, it's a tribute to Cuba.
Right. Very good cigar. Very middle of the road. I can feel it a little bit because most of the cigars I smoke are generally on the lighter end. So if I smoke anything more than mild, I can kind of feel that. What are you calling it? It's not a high, but
kinda. It's kind of a buzz. It's kind of a buzz. You get a little bit of dizziness or whatever. It's like, ooh.
See, I can feel it a little bit, but it's very minimal. Now, when I smoke the Magic Toast, the flavor of the Magic Toast is amazing. But that one knocked me off my feet. I had to sit for a while before I could go home that day.
Those are strong cigars, and again, I do like strong cigars, and the Christoph cigars. They got the pissed off Christoph, and they'll flat out tell you, you smoke that after a big meal. Make sure you have a good heavy meal. You know what I mean? You want to have a good full stomach before you smoke one of those. And as long as I do that, you know, I'm usually pretty good. And I do like those kind of cigars. I really do. But those are the kind that you start smoking those all the time. It'll burn out that palate of yours. And this one here has been very good. Like I said, I would rate this one right at medium, about the same strength as one of those.
That's a CAO America 250.
250. It's a special edition.
So if you want it, you gotta want it if you want to find it, because they're hard to find.
Very hard to find. The limited edition now. You can find them all day long.
Before
I think they came out. Yeah, they came out in either April or May, and of course that's what they were doing, was bringing it out to celebrate the 4th of July. like I said, I that's all I wanted to do. So I was like, oh, I know what cigar I'm smoking this year for 4th of July to celebrate. Couldn't find one anywhere when 4th of July rolled around. And so yeah, I grabbed 2 of them out of the humidor in my local brick and mortar, and I'll probably go in tomorrow. Now that I've smoked it, because now I know I like it. It's a good cigar.
Oh, that was a blind smoke for both of us. Because I've never smoked on my father's.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's something we normally don't do.
We try not to do that just so that we already have knowledge of what the cigar is.
I want an idea of what I'm smoking. At least smoke one before I smoke one on video. But yeah, I decided, you know, what the heck, I'm just gonna go and try one. Here's a story I tell all the time. Just because you didn't like a cigar one time, it's not necessarily just the cigar. It could be the environment, it could be whatever. It could be what you ate for dinner or what you didn't eat, or it could be what you're drinking. And I've smoked, again, I'm a huge My Father fan. I smoke every one of their cigars, and the one I did not like was the Jaime Garcia. And I just call it the Garcia because I make my own names up for everything. But it's the yellow band, and the first time I smoked one of those, and all I was ever told was how good that cigar was. And I smoked it, and I was like, that's the worst cigar I've ever smoked. And I'd watched enough videos to know, all right, don't just judge it on one. And then I smoked another one because everybody said they were good, so they have to be good. Hated that one. I hated that one more. I hated it more the second time than I did the first time. Then I ended up getting a 5-pack of My Father cigars. And one of the 5 that were in there, they were all different cigars from there.
Okay. Yeah,
it was a 5-pack that had 5 different My Father cigars in them. You know, you can buy those fresh packs where they're humidified already. Excuse me. And it had one of those in there, and I was like, well, I'd smoked all the other 4, and that was the last one. I was like, well, I guess I'll smoke this one tonight. And I remember saying, yeah, I'm not going to smoke much of it because I don't like these.
Yeah.
And I ended up lighting it up, and I smoked it. And I smoked the entire cigar. And I was like, oh my God, that was fantastic. Now that's one of my, one that you just smoked, and that yellow label one, the Jaime Garcia one, are my 2 favorites. Yeah. And I absolutely love that cigar. So just because you didn't like it the first time, try them another time, or maybe try a different size of the cigar or whatever. But now that's one of my absolute favorites. And now when I do go by, because I'll still pick up those 5-packs sometimes. At my local brick and mortar, they have them. And I always buy the one that's got that particular one in there, just because it's got that one in there. And it's like, and this was a cigar I hated. I didn't just not like it, I hated it the first 2 times I smoked it. And now it's one of my favorites. So, and my CAO Moon Trance cigars were my absolute favorite, and now I can't even smoke them. So it does change. It's kind of like eating broccoli as a little kid, and then trying it later on as an adult. It's like, this is disgusting as a kid. It's like, this is disgusting. Why would I ever eat this? And then you get older and you try it again. It's like, oh, that's not bad. You know, your tastes do change. All right, Wes. I mean, I still got quite a bit of this cigar left. We're not going to keep everybody this long. Well, before we close, I got to ask you one question. How disappointed were you just a few days ago? Our Earth was supposed to lose gravity for 7 seconds. I had everything planned. I wanted to find out when it was going to happen.
We couldn't figure out a time.
Because I wanted to make sure I was going up a hill. And then I was going to have 7 seconds of continuing up that hill before gravity came on. I wanted to see if I was going to be so high up, thinking, 7 seconds? How fast? If I'm going 60 miles an hour,
you're going to get a ways away.
How high up am I going to be? And it never happened. We never lost gravity. I was so bummed out. It's like, come on.
God, I forgot the name of that too. The project whatever. I don't remember what it was.
And I know it was all just a big hoax and everything else. We have them all the time. I mean, how many times in my lifetime have I heard, Jesus is coming back.
Right.
You know, and that always cracks me up. It's like, oh no, he's coming back on September 3rd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well now we know he can't come back because the Bible says no man
Right.
will know the day or the hour.
Yeah.
So when you start telling me a day, it's like, you can tell me the season.
Yeah.
And for those of you that, whether you're a Christian or not, I'll throw this out there, according to the Bible, we're definitely in the season. We're definitely in the season
Yeah.
of Jesus coming back. But yeah, you know, you hear that kind of stuff all the time. You know, the Mayan calendar. You know, everything was going to fall apart. Well, hell, when we went to 2000.
Right. Yeah. Y2K. That was a fun
Y2K. You know what I always said? Why not 2K?
Why not 2K?
Why 2K? Why not 2K?
The thing though with the Mayan calendar is the world may not have ended in 2012, but 2012 is when the world did shift. That was the major shift when all social media took hold. Smartphones became the norm in 2012. It was like the Mayan calendar didn't say the world was going to end. It said that period of the calendar was coming to an end, and it was going to be going into a new phase.
Huh.
So it's like, yeah, we kind of did. After 2012,
Right.
everything went completely different.
It's kind of like the year 2020.
Yeah.
And everybody, you know, all your churches and everybody's like, oh, 2020, it's perfect vision. Oh, we're gonna have the vision. And then of course it hit, and we had COVID, and the world shut down for an entire year.
Right.
Supposedly, I don't know. You worked your normal job. I worked my normal job. I didn't have any time off. I was still traveling.
I went on a lot of vacations in 2020.
I was working out of town every week. I was
super spreader.
Yeah, I was staying in hotels, you know,
Right.
all week long. Up, you know, whether I was in Chicago, wherever, but all over the Midwest. And I just remember people going, well, I guess it wasn't the 2020. We wasn't the vision. We were. It's like, if you don't see clearly what's going on in this world, and to me, it's like, my God, so many people's eyes were open.
Yeah.
You know, you look at people like, well, talk about podcasts. You look at Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I look at Jimmy Dore, comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Brand, the guy from England. Russell Brand. You look at all these people. I mean, these are people that were always considered ultra liberal.
Yes.
That just because they were smart enough to see, hey, they're lying to us.
Right.
You know, and again, I'm not saying COVID wasn't real. COVID was very real.
Yeah.
A lot of people died from the coronavirus, from the COVID flu.
Yes.
But again, I'm in my 60s. I've gone through bird flu. I've gone through the swine flu. I've seen flus that literally killed millions of people, you know, in a year's time.
Right.
And it was like, wait a second. So enough people were like, this isn't adding up. What they're telling us, it can't be true. What they're saying has got to be, they got to be falsifying something, because this isn't right. You know, we shut the world down because of so many people that died, but yet every year since 2020, more people have died than in 2020.
Yeah.
2021, more people died, but yet they released everybody to go back to normal. 2022, more people died then.
Yeah.
And then more people died then. And now we're seeing how many people that have died that has literally linked to the vaccine that they took.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, if 2020 didn't open your eyes, nothing will.
Right.
And to me, that's kind of that, you know, the Bible talks about being turned over to a reprobate mind, where you can no longer decipher truth.
Right.
You can't hear truth. And it was like, dear God, if there was ever perfect vision, I think we all know.
Right.
And again, I'm not dogging America. I'm smoking the America cigar.
Right.
Okay, so I'm still
we're still
USA.
all America.
USA.
America's still the best country, whether you want to believe it or not.
But if we think that our government, and any of the other governments,
there's no government that is telling you a whole truth. I don't care what country it is.
right?
We're true red, white, and blue Americans. Every government is lying to you some way, somehow.
Yes. It's just been amazing. So yeah, that was just the latest of the
I was really hoping
things.
just because it was like, it's almost too unbelievable to believe, but it was like, it'd be kind of interesting.
It'd be so cool. It was kind of like even back when all the QAnon stuff was real big.
Yeah.
It was like, and they're saying, oh, this is this and this. It was like, well, I hope it's true.
Right.
I kind of liked everything they stood for. It's like, all right, yeah, hopefully this will be right. I'm not counting on it, but it'd be nice if it would be.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, it'd be nice.
You take everything with a grain of salt and keep on living. You can entertain the conspiracy theories, but you can't live by a conspiracy theory.
You can't. You know, I'll research them.
Yes, yeah.
And there's some that I think hold some pretty good points. We've talked about the moon landing. We've talked about all this different stuff. And, you know, so I like to try to keep an open mind. And I think that's what happened with me in 2020. I learned to open my mind a little bit. I like to listen to other people's views, whether I agree with them or not. I like to hear what they have to say. I've always been that way, like with religion. I mean, I'm a Christian. I believe in the Bible, and I live my life as close to the Bible as I can possibly live it. And I know people will say, well, how can you say that? You're smoking a cigar and you're drinking a beer. There's nothing in the Bible to say. If you eliminate anybody that drank beer, I mean, you have to eliminate Jesus. You have to, you know, I mean, he drank wine. He made wine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so alcohol is not the evil. It's the love of alcohol. Just like money. Money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. So I have no problem drinking a beer. I have no problem smoking a cigar. And, but, you know, for myself, I do stick to the Christian beliefs. That being said, I love listening to, you know, Cindy is Cherokee. You know, you've got Cherokee blood in you.
Right.
And I like to see what the Indians have to say. What do the Native Americans say? You find out that they're not that far off.
Right.
And even a lot of these other religions through the world, I like to hear what they have to say.
Because you have to understand them.
And I like to see where they're coming from. And, you know, it's like, I'm one of those people, when I'm in a car, when I was younger especially, and somebody would be driving stupid or whatever, it's like, God, I'd love to follow them. And when they get out of the car, I'd say, all right, my mind doesn't work the way yours does. My mind said everything you did was absolutely stupid and selfish. Will you please tell me why you thought what you were doing was okay? And then, you know, I've had the lucky time. I was able to talk to somebody one time about that. And then you find out they're just idiots. They give you their reason. It's like, okay, now I understand. You're a moron. So if you honestly think, one guy got mad at me because he said he was mad I wasn't driving fast enough, even though I was driving 10 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yeah.
I wasn't driving fast enough because I wasn't at work. He's at work. Yeah, during the week, you know, we're at work, you know, and here you are, you're not working. And, you know, and I'm like, so you honestly think that the speed limit changes on the work weeks? You know, during the working week, it's a different speed limit than on the weekends. And on top of that, I was still working. I was on the job. It was like, and it's just like, wow. And this dude was, I mean, he was emphatic about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, you really think that it makes a difference whether you're at work or not as to what the speed limit is supposed to be? So yeah, so after that, I was like, you know what? I don't want to find out, because then it scares me even worse. Like, wow, and you got a license and you're allowed to drive, and you got a job. How'd you get a job? All right, well, we'll call this a day, and I'm glad you came over. I'm glad we got a chance to smoke a couple cigars and talk with everybody, and I guess we'll say goodbye and go enjoy the rest of our evening.
Make sure you check out Badass Beard Care. Click the link. Help support the podcast. Steel Horse is a discount code to help save you some money.
All right, and if you get a chance, check out the other Steel Horse Thunder on YouTube. We do a Facebook Live every Monday night and talk a lot about charity rides and that kind of stuff that's going on in the motorcycle community. Obviously, we're from Indiana, so we're generally talking about the Midwest stuff that's going on. And just a big shout out to Lade Norfolk, Jotto and Bigler, personal injury lawyers. They're here in Indiana. You know, they've been a part of the Steel Horse. They've been a sponsor of Steel Horse for over 20 years. They've been around for a long time, and they are just fantastic people. In fact, When they found out we were canceling one of the rides so we could go up and help the people in Cambridge City, Mark Ladendorf himself, Ladendorf, the law firm, they donated, they make ponchos, a lot of stuff for motorcycles, ponchos, towels, and that kind of stuff. They gave us everything they had so we could take it up there. And then Mark himself said, hang on a second, went back in there, wrote a check for $500 so they could bring $500 up to them to help with buying supplies and everything else.
Okay.
And he said, if you need more, you let me know. That's what Ladendorf Law is. That's how they are. And
they're good people.
So good people. So yeah, check out those people. And thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the next podcast.